I want to tell you about three things that kind of irk my nerve that people say to trans people. The first one is, so you was born a man. The so you was born a man thing is weird and creepy, especially in a climate where y'all is ex trafficking children and we got all the Epstein stuff going on and just had the R. Kelly stuff. Like, if we're born men and women, then is pedophilia a real thing? If you could be born a man and born a woman? Because last time I checked, we was born babies, children, offspring, and we grow into these constructs. We grow into beings that can be socialized into the constructs of womanhood and manhood. So when someone says, so you was born a man, it's like you're in some creepy, weird way making sense of pedophilia. Second thing that really, really bothers me is when y'all say, so you cut it off. Now, the so you cut it off question is wild because in order for the space to have sensitivity, you basically need the genitals because the genitals have the sensitivity. Your sexual reproductive organs typically have sensitivity. That's what makes sex or procreation or lovemaking, intimacy, whatever it is that you're engaging in, whether it's fellatio or cunnilingus or penetration, what makes it feel good is that these are erogenous zones, and so there's sensitivity there. And so it hasn't been cut off, it's been refashioned. The last one is this assumption that we do all of this for the attention of cisgender men. Because if we end up with a person who was born with a vagina but lives as a man, y'all don't understand it. It's like, well, why would you do all that to your body? You could have just stayed a man or you could have just stayed a woman. Not understanding that when we are in various phases of our journey, of our growing process, like we are experimenting with the bodies that we were originally growing into. So I can't say that I've ever had any type of intimate relationships with a female bodied individual pre-transition unless you count the times that I was molested. As an adult person, I started medically transitioning. I started experimenting with hormones around 14. And by the time I was like 17 or 18, I was seriously on them. So by the time I started experimenting, I was already in a trans body. I had already started medically transitioning. But I think that what people fail to realize is that us making physical changes to our body to be comfortable in our body is what makes the partner that we eventually end up with so special, especially if both of us have been on this journey of understanding ourselves. True, sometimes we will get with each other and decide that we want to forego medical transition, estrogen or testosterone, being medically introduced to our body, being medically injected into our body, or taking it through pills or rubs or patches or however, like not having any outside support and just deciding that we want to just let our body do what it does without any assistance. Some of us do decide to do that. But that was still the journey. Like, you still would have never met that person had you not been on your trans journey. Like, it took your trans journey to bring you two together. The experiences that you went through led up to that. And so whether we decide to continue on the journey of transition, physically transitioning, or whether we have already transitioned when we meet our partner and we fall in love, it's all a part of the journey. And so people try to simplify, and make it look like all of that wasn't necessary, but it is the experiences and it is the wisdom that we've gained and the understanding and the growth and everything that has come from those experiences that helped us to find each other, and even more so help us to see each other in the way that we see each other. Everybody's journey is not meant to just be, oh, I got a vagina, you got a penis, let's get together and get married and have babies. You know, like everybody's I identify as a man, you identify as a woman. I was born with a penis, you was born with a vagina. I see myself as straight, you see yourself as straight, let's go get married. Like, for everybody, it's not that simple. There are over 8 billion variables on the planet. It shouldn't be that simple. We all have brains, we all have minds, we all have we're not taking the exact same path. Like, we're not having the exact same experiences. We don't have the exact same genetic makeup. We don't have the exact same biology. And so how we are interpreting things, how we are experiencing things, how we're connecting with different situations, it makes sense that we are expressing it and that we're using different language and that we are interpreting these experiences through different lenses. This is why our ancestors had tribes. This is why they had villages. This is why they had communities. There were groups of people who were gravitating towards each other because they had the same belief systems. They resonated in the same way, and not to say that one was more valid than the other. They were all interconnected. The blood vessels and the tissues and the bone that it takes to make up your hand, how they form, how they move, how they connect, not going to connect the same way that your calves connect. It's not going to look the same way it's not going to look the same way your face look. Like, the bone comes together differently to form your skull. The bone comes together, the cartilage comes together differently to form your nose. Like, what's going on in your face, these cells and these tissues, they come together differently because their purpose is different. Your tissues and your bone and everything that it takes to create your face, it comes together differently because this is your face. So your hand, the tissues and the bone, they come together, they're formed together, they work together, and they move together in a way that creates that hand movement. And so, like, it can all be made of the same things, but they come together differently because they move differently. And I want us to understand that about ourselves. Like, if everybody was supposed to move the same, come together in the same way, form the same thing, then shit, we wouldn't have different parts on the body. We'd all have the same parts. And it's literally made up of the same stuff. It doesn't mean that it's distributed in my DNA in the same way that it's distributed into yours. We built different. And we should be. Again, it's over 8 billion variables on the planet. So those are 3 things that kind of tick me off. And I just wanted to just delve into that for y'all. I don't want to make this video too long. But that's all I got for now. We're doing an emergency live Sunday. So, if you an emergency accountability live, gonna be happening Sunday. So make sure y'all check in. It's gonna be about 2:00 Central, 3:00 Eastern. But it's gonna be an accountability live. So I look forward to seeing y'all. Be blessed. Take care. Layla Nation. Purple ones. Rise.